What up? This is Rashid Davis, former Chicago Bear wide receiver. Yeah, that guy. And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, where they think they know everything, but they don't know jack.
Here we go.
This is Lauren over at Wolf Cuts Grooming. I'm just checking into Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, where they think they know everything, but they really don't know shit.
Raise the roof. Get hype. Get hype. I know y'all remember this. This is the hype song. This is the hype song. Get hype. And now, introducing your lineup for the CCP, Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. The lady behind the scenes, Tanya, the super producer.
What's up, T?
Next up,
Hey,
the
babe.
man who's really not from Chicago, Big Will Ross.
This one for you, baby. This one's for you, T. This one for you. You see it. You see it. I'm from here.
The man we call the human Wikipedia that knows absolutely nothing. J.I.
What's happening? What's good, good people?
What up?
Let's get this going.
The man who knows every single stat from every team since the 90s. JB.
What up? What up? What up?
What up?
The intro was hot, T.
And I am your point.
Oh, he lost himself.
Turnover.
I am the point guard, the quarterback, whatever you want to call me, the coolest man in the room. But I'm the only one in the room. Okay, y'all was supposed to laugh. Where was the laugh?
I said you said that
We
right.
did. We did. We did.
Okay.
All 32 showing.
Yeah, anyway, so this is the podcast where we think we know everything, but we really don't know shit. But our guests today, as always, they know shit. Or at least we think they know shit. But we'll find out if they know shit. Tanya. Bye, sweetheart.
See,
We don't need you. Bye-bye.
Super producer.
What's up, fellas?
Fellas, it's Tuesday. You already know. The energy is hype. I've been waiting.
What's good?
It's Tuesday.
Man, we gonna get this ball rolling.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to say that a lot of people were asking me, Terrence, why you always say y'all don't know shit? Let me explain that real quick if I can. It's not that we don't know shit, but all these sources, they claim to know everything, but they really don't know shit. They don't know anything. They can speculate, and that's what we do, but we tell you up front. Now, sometimes our shit is on point, sometimes it's not. But we're not dissing ourselves. We're just saying up front, we really don't know shit. So if it rain tomorrow and we say it's going to be sunny, we don't know shit anyway. Why the fuck you listen to us? All right. I'm off my soapbox. Let's talk about these Bulls, man. They got aggressive with that trade.
Does that move the needle? Does that really impress y'all? Have we not seen this story before? It's the same movie, just recast, in my opinion. Yeah.
What's the original version, John? What's
I got something to say. The original version, to me, the original version is, why didn't you put some help around Derek? Why weren't you that aggressive around Derek when he needed some help? You gave us Keith Bogans, Ronnie Brewer. Like, come on, man. Let's keep it 100 around here. That's what we do. Shout out to our people over there in New York and Boston, Phil, Shane,
Keep it 100.
But my thing is this. I wasn't excited with the Carlos Boozer move. I'm not excited with moderate level moves. Yeah, we got an all-star, but you see what happened the last 2 games. He ain't really moving the needle. He getting his points, back-to-back games, 21-9. But look who has suffered these last 2 games because of Vucevic. Anybody notice Zach LaVine has not caught 20 points? Have you noticed his shot selection and thing has been downwatered? How they supposedly supposed to be double teaming Vucevic, but now all they doing is trapping Zach at the top? Like, come on, was this really just a great move of the minds, or was this like the Bears? You're aggressively inept again.
Well, they have a bona fide big man now. Don't that count for something?
It does. If that's the type of offense you're running. Clearly, that's not the type of offense Billy Donovan ever runs. He's a transition, run-based motion offensive coach.
How about we give
you got to set up in the half court, pick and pop, let him get touches down low. He's stalling the offense right now. You see it. If you don't see it, you ain't watching.
Well, how about we give it a chance first, JB? You know, I mean, he just found out where his locker is. You know what I'm saying? And you know how intricate this game can get. You got to start putting pieces together. It takes a minute to put pieces together as a coach. You can't just be like, okay, I got this. Unless you go and get a major somebody that's just gonna come in and just we knew coming in the door he was not going to be, you know, a Chris Paul coming in the door or a major one of those top wow factor guys, you know, like KD coming in the door or something like that. That's just gonna take over all the games. No, that's not his style. You know, it's going to take a little time for us to put these things together first and then do that. Then maybe, you know, 3 weeks from now, now I'm gonna listen to you. You know, but give it a chance before you get, you know, before you just say, okay, well, this just ain't gonna happen. I mean, and plus they might be thinking long term, a little further down the line. Okay, it's maybe not this year, but I'm seeing this person with this person, then we add this in the draft and we can work it out.
Hey man, I hate to interrupt.
What draft?
I hate to interrupt this conversation. And let's pick this up after our guests leave. But one of our guests is here now, and I don't know how much time he gonna have. So, without further ado, this is one of the funniest dudes in Chicago. You know, he has a lot of material on YouTube that you can check out. He was on Def Comedy Jam, a slew of things. The dude is hilarious. B. Cole, let's bring him in here. What's up, B. Cole?
What's up, man? Are you guys good on hearing me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm in the middle of a show that I'm emceeing, that I'm hosting, and I got a lineup of comedians I'm bringing up, so I'll be in and out. As I introduce comedians, I can come back in and talk with you guys, man. So I'm a little multitasking right now, you know. But my apologies, though, man. But how everybody doing, man?
Man, blessed and highly favored, brother. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Man, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. I'm happy that you guys asked me to be on, man. You know.
So where's your show tonight?
Show tonight, man. This is my first show I'm doing. It's at an exclusive spot called Studio 2226. It's a new film studio that just opened up, and I'll be doing a comedy show here every Tuesday. Sorry.
He's crazy.
Yeah, 2226. It's East 71st Street. It's a real low-key exclusive spot. It's a film studio. And man, in the future, I'll be getting ready to shoot my own stand-up comedy series here called Welcome Back Comedy. Set up just like Comic View, Def Comedy Jam. We need that here in Chicago for ourselves, you know.
We need that back, brother, because you had me dying on Def Comedy Jam and Comic View.
Oh my God!
Thank you, man.
I still talk about Head Day.
Hey, head day, come on, man.
We need that holiday, man. We need it.
We need Head Day. And if your girl ain't home on that day, oh boy.
She delivering gifts, man. That's
Delivering gifts.
It's a problem. It's an issue.
can't let out your sight on head day, man.
She offering gifts.
Oh, no, you ain't going nowhere.
Hey, B, you know what I want to thank you for, man? I want to
What's
thank
up, bro?
you for putting on so many people from Chicago. A lot of people don't know that people get chances through you. You understand? And how much you try to represent our city. You go out, you leave Chicago and try to take Chicago with you everywhere you go. And I want to applaud you for that, man.
Man, thank you.
You've been doing this for a long time, doing this, because I started with you in the 90s. I started with you in the 90s, bro.
When I was supposed to be dead.
Wow.
Hey, look, when all the people in the crew was my people from what's your movie? God, I can't think of it. Just slip up real quick. A Get Together, man. Yeah, everybody knew somebody in a Get Together. That's how it all hit home.
Yeah, and you can see a Get Together now. It's on Tubi, man. The Tubi app.
Oh, okay.
Search a Get Together, man. Go on there and enjoy it, man. It's one of my prized possessions, man. Where it's basically like our Friday here in Chicago,
Right.
And it's always been compared to House Party and Friday. They say if House Party and Friday had a baby, it'll be my movie, A Get Together, man. So make sure y'all check that out, man. It's real funny. Some great comedians who you all know today that's in it, such as like Deion Cole, my man, Muhammad, Marlon Mitchell, man. Hey, the list goes on, but my very first movie I've ever done was I'm in Love with a Crackhead. That was a short film.
It was classic.
Yeah,
classic.
Thank you. And you can actually check that out on my YouTube channel, B Cole Films. Go ahead and check out the short, man, and you'll see Lil Rel that's his first role, and I'm in Love with a Crackhead. Lil Rel got his little cameo in that one, man, and also my man Tim and Durrett. I don't know if you know Tim and Durrett. We call him Tree in Chicago, but he's now one of the stars on a hit show called Queen Sugar. Yeah, so yeah, man. As you mentioned that a lot of comedians and just generally actors, poets in Chicago, man, I've always set a platform for them guys, man. If you all know poet Malik Youssef, he went off and done great things, but I remember setting up a platform for him that I was doing a poetry show once a month called Full Moon Poetry. And we used to do it every full moon. There's the poetry show at different locations, man. And Malik Youssef, that's where he got his start at with me on that, and also Jay Ivy as well, so yeah, man, the list goes on. Bernie Mac, the king of comedy, king of Chicago. He was the first comedian to introduce me to the stage at the Cotton Club back in the day,
Cotton Club, okay.
Yeah, man.
You had to put on your good clothes to go perform in the Cotton Club.
Right.
That's right, man. If you wasn't funny, at least you look good, though.
Right. Shoot, you couldn't go with jeans and gym shoes to the Cotton Club or to
the clip. The clip. Yeah, the clip. That was it was a lot of spots back in the day, man, that opened doors to comedy, man. Like the 90s really bust wide open with stand-up comedy.
That era of comedy in Chicago. I wish
Laugh Factory, all that.
Yeah,
man, it was like with you, Damon, Leon, D-Ray coming up, and all y'all together, man. That was
man. It's quick, the producers and Russell Simmons, they actually said that Chicago has the best comedians in the country. Because when they used to go scout for comedians, Chicago used to be the most difficult city for them to choose who to take, because there was so many of us, man, and like you named them guys, we also like Corey Holcomb. Man, my man, even Craig Robinson, man, represents Chicago. Hannibal Barris right now, Little Rel, and I mean the list goes on. We run in Hollywood right now, But fellas, the one thing that I'm trying to get to be done, man, for Chicago is Chicago come together. And you know that's been our problem here at home, that Chicago really don't support each other, you know? And the thing is that once we can do that and unite, we'll be unstoppable, you know? So that's the thing, is like we really have to support each other.
It's funny that you say that because we had Mike Samp on a couple weeks ago, and he said the same exact
same thing. Yep.
You just said.
Yeah, man. It's generational, man. It goes way back, man. So, like I said, it's just a matter. But that's what I've always tried to do. You know, I'm cut from the cloth. I'm a student of like Keenan Ivory Wayans and Robert Townsend, man. And I always want to make stars. You know, people who I see with a talent, I want to make them, you know, greater by setting platforms for them. And like I said, without them guys, you wouldn't know Jamie Foxx or Jim Carrey or the Wayans family. You wouldn't know them without Keenan.
I was just having a conversation with somebody in regards to that. Like, man, Keenan's footprint is so big in the industry. It's huge. Like, because people don't realize, like, when you get past In Living Color and I'm Gonna Get You Sucker and things like that, and man, he's deep.
Yeah. Yeah, I really admire that brother, man. Him and Robert Townsend. So, like I said, that's the vehicle I'm in right now, and just trying to do it for Chicago. I actually moved to LA last year. Okay, I actually moved to LA last year. This time, but I had to come back because of COVID. COVID shut LA down, Hollywood down, and I was like, the minute I decide to make that decision to move out there, the world shuts down, you know. And I took that as a huge sign from God, like, dude, go back home. You already was doing well. Keep it going, you know, go back home and do it, you know. But fellas, I'm sorry. Can we take a break? I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the next comedian, but I'm gonna come back. So talk amongst yourselves and let me go do that. I'll be back in like
we can 3 minutes. Down.
Well, do your thing, man.
Don't go nowhere.
All right. Man, bro just brought up some classics, man.
Yeah,
Hollywood Shuffle. I'm gonna get the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Keenan Ivory Wayans, that joint. Man.
So you know what I'm thinking?
Wow, you done with a crackhead. I mean, like, man.
So this is what I'm thinking. We have the great Vince Adams backstage. I'm thinking that we should bring Vince on, and I guess JR will come back on since he fell off. Let's bring JR back on.
You know, JR gonna be on. JR love house music. House music all night long.
And speaking of loving house music and music, period, we're gonna bring in like the music master, the biggest Chicago icon DJ ever. All the Phil and 8 parties. Y'all remember Phil and 8 parties?
Oh yeah.
Phil and 8.
Yeah.
Phil and 8. There were a whole bunch of parties, man, but I would always look forward to Vince spinning, man. That was it. So let's bring him in here. Vince Adams.
So here's the deal, Terrence. Terrence, here's what I'm going to tell you out the gate. Yeah. Out the gate. One, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
All right. So we can pull the wool back on all the 1990s stories because I actually only DJ'd one Phil and Nate party. I DJ'd 95% of the Club Net parties.
And
I did a lot of Phil. I did a lot of New Birth parties. So you remember Shane and Rob?
Shane and Rob.
Shundi's had Miracle Entertainment. I did a lot of I did one Phil and Nate party. We can talk about that because I've known Phil and Nate since we were 15 years old. Did one party.
I stand corrected. Corrected.
It's all good. And I got a B. Cole story too. So
wait.
Yes.
Wait till we get back on, Vince.
Absolutely. And all of these in the
let's get it.
All of these in the 90s. All of these in the 90s. Yeah.
The best era ever.
It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
So
yeah.
What's up, guys? I'm back,
definitely share the B. Cole story.
Hey, you came right back. Vince said he got a story about you, bro.
I certainly do.
Vince Adams, what up, brother?
What up, B? So,
my brother.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'll let everybody know, and I'll tell it and have fun with it. So here's what happened, and we got to mute B on this because you can't miss a word. You can't miss a word. So here's the deal. I DJ'd at FAMU from 1988 to 1993, and when I came back to Chicago, I was not DJing, and I was like, I'm not producing the show, but I know B's got a lot of background, so
He's got a lot of background, B.
Yeah, so
I guess you can't tell him to be quiet, so I'm gonna mute you.
No, because he's got the monitors from the club. And,
Right.
Yeah, right.
There we go.
Right. So here's the deal. I DJ'd at FAM from 88 to 93. I left FAMU, left my equipment. I threw away a turntable. I left my records at the frat house. I was like, I'm done with this DJ thing. I'm just going to go work in corporate America. I go to my first comedy club in 1995, and B. Cole is on stage. And this is on Plymouth. It's right in Printers Row. I can't remember what club it was, but it was on Printers Row. And so, I'm 6'5", B's a big cat or whatever. And I'm in the crowd. And he's like, "What's up with this big old dude wearing the schmedium?" Now, this is before anybody has heard the word schmedium. Like, B. Cole is the first person I heard. And so he says something to me. I'm 25. Nobody knows who I am. Because like I said, that was why I said I stopped DJing, and this is 95. Nobody knew who I was in the DJ or the, that kind of arena, because I didn't have a reputation in that space. And so then I started talking back to B. Cole, and he starts talking back to me. Here's what happens. When I'm talking, nobody's saying anything. When he talks back to me, the whole crowd is like, "Oh my God." Right. And then I try to get louder, and no one says anything. He's like, "Big boy, that's why yada." Oh, the crowd blows up. And we all remember the tragic memories of our, youth, right? This is a tragic memory. Here's the reason I remember it is because B. Cole is roasting me in front of the whole club. And this is the day we met. And then at the end of the roast, after the because I'm not heckling him, but he started with me, but then I go back at him. And at the end of the back and forth, he said, "Remember this, big guy, the person with the mic always wins."
Always wins.
I remember that, we've known each other now for 25 years. He does not, he does probably not even recall that moment. But the thing is that I remembered that, and I took that into my DJ career, that the person with the mic always wins. And I've shut a few people down and let them know at the end, but I got it from B. Cole.
Wow.
So that's kind of funny because people try to heckle DJ.
You influenced Vince, did you?
Wow, that's amazing, Vince. I you know what? I had no idea, brother. But that's an amazing story. I remember the last time I worked with you, Vince. We were at Green Dolphin when we did show with what was it? The family. What is the name? Kindred and the Family.
Kindred and the Family. So when we were doing the jazz stuff up there on Friday nights. Yep.
Yeah, that was the last time I worked with you, brother, man. But it's always a pleasure, man.
Bro, absolutely. And you don't know it, but we worked together virtually on February 28th. You did the show with Damon Williams. And I was the host once we actually aired the show, but you pre-recorded it, and I told that show there. But fellas, I didn't want to take over the format, but I just thought since we, this is our first time being together for a minute.
I got a question for you, Vince.
What's up, Jay?
What would have been your job in corporate America?
I'm sorry, what was the question, Will?
What would have been that job in corporate America?
So here's the deal. I worked for 5 companies, and going into the roles, I started off with CNA Insurance Company. I left CNA for Prudential for a lot more. I left Prudential for Rush Prudential for a lot more. I left Rush Prudential for Anderson Consulting for a lot more. And then I went from Anderson Consulting and I became a director for an IT company. And a lot of people don't know those days of Club Net, of Phil and Nate. I got my master's from DePaul in IT. and I was burning the 9 to 5 oil, and then getting my master's and spinning in what became the Buddha Lounge residency and Spy Bar and all those other things. I was doing all of that at the same time. So yeah, I had 5 corporate jobs, and we know 9/11 came about. And then when 9/11 came, a lot of the consulting companies, the money dried up for consulting. And the company that I was working for, they folded, and it was May of 2004. And I was like, I could either go do this DJ thing or go work for Deloitte and Touche or Deloitte now or Ernst & Young. Or I think I'm going to try this DJ thing. So that's what it is. I took everything that I gained academically from FAMU and DePaul, everything that I gained corporately from all of those positions, and channeled it into the business of DJing. So I always say I'm a businessman first, and I use DJing as a path to make things happen.
That's awesome.
Vince, I got a quick question. You reference FAMU. Everybody might not know what FAMU is. Can you give us a background of FAM?
That's fair, because it's a cult.
Right. I've heard the name a couple times.
I went to 2 cults. I went to Whitney Young from 7th grade to 12th grade, and then I went to Florida A&M, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, FAMU, for 5 years, because we had a year of internships in the business program. So imagine 11 years of what was taking place in the 80s, in Whitney Young starting in 82, and what was happening in Florida with Luke and everything that was happening there. Like the relationships that I gained over those 11 years, that's what created my career, those 2 institutions. So I jokingly, of course, call it a cult, but FAMU is a very loyal institution, Florida A&M in Tallahassee, Florida, on the highest of 7 hills, and Whitney Young as well, very loyal institutions. And the people that I met there, I owe 90% of what it is that I've ever done to them, because I've never solicited my services ever. Like I've never said, hey, DJ for hire, or had a manager, or it's my network and relationships that have made everything happen. And that was the inception.
Shout out to B False and Shane. Shout out. Have you ever done any DJing at the Moon?
The Moon?
The Moon.
I was actually...
Vince knows what the Moon is.
Put it to you like this, a couple things. So the Moon is the biggest club in Tallahassee.
Morehouse wouldn't know anything about that.
The Moon, but check this out. My freshman year at FAMU was Deion Sanders' senior year at FSU.
Ooh.
And this is prime time, like rolling down the street in the limousine, out the window of the limousine, out the hood of the limousine with the Jerry curl and everything. He used to shut the Moon down.
Prime time.
The prime time started way before the Falcons and Braves and everything else. Like that was a Seminole thing. And a lot of people don't know, like I was at FAMU for 5 years, and there was never any social unrest. There was never any racial, like, oh, y'all, the black school, like what we saw on School Days and the Mission Men and all of that. We never had that kind of dynamic. So Florida A&M is actually in walking distance from Florida State. So I share that to say that was my first introduction to the Moon, was Deion Sanders. But I actually not only DJ'd at the Moon, I actually have a picture of myself and Luke at the Moon 4 years ago. At homecoming. So the Moon is an institution in Tallahassee. I've DJ'd there, and I met Luke in person for the very first time after my FAMU days, hanging out at the Moon. Yes, so.
Oh, that's what's up. We had a nice couple road trips down to Tallahassee, hung out at the Moon when it was in time for the luau.
Here's what I can tell you. Super quick story, Jay. A dude ran up on me in a wedding in 2016. And this was a very ritzy wedding. And he said, FAMU, homecoming, 1988. Dude ran up on me at the wedding. At the wedding. He was like, y'all played Howard University. And I went down there to visit my sister. If I ever went to FAMU, I would have never graduated. He was like, I remember the party you DJ'd in 1988, and that was the most incredible college party I ever. That was my freshman year. So it only got better from there. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Vince, I got a question for you, but I want to hold on real quick. B. Cole, got a question for you from our fans, from our viewers. Who was your inspiration coming up? He froze. Did he freeze?
He froze.
He froze.
Oh, he gone.
So we'll come back to his question. One of our viewers asked, who was B. Cole's inspiration in comedy coming up? Now let me switch back. Vince, got a question for you.
What's up?
Brother,
Yeah.
we all love the movie Juice.
Yeah.
We all love DJing.
Yeah.
What happened to the mixing and scratching, man? What's up with the twin Geminis with the diamond tips? What's going on?
It hasn't gone anywhere.
We don't, but it's not publicized, you know. When's the last time you had some mixing and scratching battles?
Well, see, that's okay. Let me answer that question. There's different types of house music. There's different types of hip hop. There's, so we don't necessarily put Public Enemy, Fresh Prince in the same Big Daddy Kane. Like you wouldn't even put Big Daddy Kane and Public Enemy in the same 1988 bag. Like you had the Fresh Prince, BDP, So when we say hip hop and everybody just says hip hop, well, hip hop could be Big Daddy Kane, but it could be Public Enemy 1988 as well. So I say that to say that there's turntablism and then there's DJing. So turntablism is more what we saw in Juice. So there were certain DJs that consider themselves turntablists, and you've got guys in Chicago like DJ B-Man, DJ Rock, DJ Ransom, like some cold turntablists, and they still get together and do ciphers and different things today. And then you got more of a party rocking style. So it's a very fair question, but just to make the dynamic, me myself, I never consider myself a turntablist, but I did hire a scratch champion in 2001 to teach me more, battle type skills, because I started doing things at Essence Fest and I started going to the East Coast and different things where it couldn't just be like that smooth Chicago blend type dynamic. I had to put more of a flavor in my mixes, and I actually hired a guy, and that's where, I was like, I got to take this up a level, and it led to me in 2010. I'm doing a party for the Tom Joyner Cruise, and Dougie Fresh is standing over my shoulder like, dude, we need to talk. And then I became a tour DJ for Dougie Fresh, which a lot of people don't know if you weren't with me and Doug when we were doing the things we were doing. But so I developed a certain level of turntablism to be able to tour with Doug, but the battle DJ is a different kind of flavor than the party rocker.
Gotcha.
And we got B back, so the influences. I definitely want to share the stage with my brother.
Yes, B. One of the viewers asked, who were some of your early influences?
Question.
Yeah. Who were some of your early influences?
The influence, obviously, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, they taught me my sense of humor, to even want to be funny, just funny throughout grade school, through high school. But the person who made me want to do stand-up comedy, man, and get on stage, it's a funny story, because I was 18 years old and I was watching a comedy special of a comedian that no one knew his name. He was just the guy, just was seen around a little bit, but he was hilarious. And it was Damon Wayans from the Wayans Brothers.
Okay.
And Damon Wayans, he had like a 30-minute, this before In Living Color and all that, And me and my friend was watching the show, and my friend turned to me and said, B, he reminds me of you. And that's when it clicked right there. I said, oh, well, shoot, if you see me in that, then that's what I'm going to do. So I started comedy at 19 years old, man, right after that. But it was Damon Wayans from the Wayans family who influenced me to actually grab a microphone.
Hey, B. Cole, was that the one where he talked about having a club foot? Is that the routine where Damon Wayans was talking about having a club foot?
I don't think so.
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can't hear you over there. But Ben, let me direct something to you, man.
Sure.
I think you got us all through the pandemic, man. That you did for us during the pandemic.
Which one?
Awesome.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Will? Which event?
I'm sorry. What you did for us during the pandemic was awesome.
Thank you, brother.
Man, we just, oh my God. I think you you kept a lot of families together. I'm gonna tell
Thank
you,
you.
because
Thank
a
you.
lot of times it was like we were all on edge. Like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And then everybody, it just go out. You get that text, "Hey, Vince coming on at 10 o'clock." 10 o'clock.
No, that's love.
So
That's love.
everybody turned it on, and man,
That's love.
And Will, I'm glad you brought that up, Vince. I personally want to thank you because I had COVID,
Wow.
so I was crazy, man.
Wow.
I was crazy, and I needed that. I needed you. I needed D Nice. I needed Most, DJ Most. I needed all you guys
Thank
to
you.
get through it. Cause man, I was losing my mind.
No,
My
thank
girlfriend, I was getting on her nerves, so I had to find something to do. And thank God for you all. I'd be in the bed. I put my earphones in my ear, and I couldn't sleep. So D Nice actually would be on like after hours.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, he was doing like 10-hour marathons before other people. Like he was
Yeah,
like
he was doing his thing.
like 16 hours or something. I mean, he was just like on, and he would just keep playing, and everybody was rocking. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I wanted to thank you all, man, because
No.
y'all helped me get through it, man. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Well, the interesting thing, Terrence, is that I just interviewed DJ Jazzy Jeff, and he said the exact same thing about D Nice, because as soon as he was so Jazzy Jeff blacked out for 11 days from COVID. Like there's 11 days that he cannot recall. But when he came out, that was when D Nice started going. And if it wasn't for Derek, like I don't know what I would have done. So it's amazing, like, you're thinking the DJs needed the DJs to a certain extent. So I was sitting around that Saturday, and people were texting me like, "Do you see what's happening on Instagram?" I was like, "No." They were like, "Do you see what's happening?" I was like, "D Nice," and they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, I'm not watching it." They're like, "You're not watching it?" I was like, "No, I'm not watching it." And I know Derek. Like we've known each other. Little factoid about like B. Cole. I actually DJ'd D Nice's ex-wife's bridal brunch on TV One. For Chef G. Garvin. So
That's my man, G. Garvin.
So G. Garvin had a show on TV One, and I was G. Garvin's DJ, and it was for Melinda Williams, she was marrying D Nice. So that's when I met D Nice person to person back in 2006 when that happened. So we've done things across the country for a while. So we've got each other's numbers, everything. So it was nothing but love for Derek, but I was like, I'm good. But people were like, you need to see this. And so I got on, and it was like 55,000 people. Then it went to 60. Then it went to 65. And I'm watching it, and then he's like, Naomi Campbell. Oh, Lenny Kravitz. Oh, Jody Watley. Then the names got bigger. Oh, Oprah. Oh, Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson. Oh, I was like, God.
It was ridiculous.
I was like, this is nuts.
It was crazy.
I didn't hear Lisa Johnson, Doug Berry. If you were not an A-list celebrity,
Right.
you were not getting a shout out
Right.
at that party. And when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I'm about to flip this and turn it from the VIP party that everybody gets to watch, and I'm going to make it everybody's party. And if you went to Howard, you get a shout out. If you went to U of I, you get a shout out. If you went to Illinois State, you get a shout. Like, I'm about to make this everybody's party, and it's going to bug the hell out of some people because they're going to be like, could you just shut up and let the song play? But other people are going to be like, I appreciate this connection because we're all in our individual rooms. We're all in our individual homes. And this is bringing us closer together by hearing Tuskegee get shouted out, by hearing Houston get shouted out, and by hearing the Kappas get shouted out. So that was the thing. It's like, I'm going to make this everybody's party. But I was inspired by what I saw that Saturday. But I was like, I'm going to put a little shift, on this to kind of like broaden the audience so that it's not a VIP party. It's actually everybody's party. And what took place after that weekend, because I went the weekend after D Nice hit those, crazy 6-figure numbers. And then I'm looking at the replays and I'm like, damn, 51,000 replays. So it just kind of mushroomed from there. But yeah, it actually started with Derek but there were other DJs that were either inspired or needed that same recuperation because they had COVID as well.
That's what's up, man.
Vince, I wanted to touch on that for a minute. You know, shout out to Tuskegee. I got you. Will's not a Bears fan. He's not a Tuskegee fan. He don't like anybody that's winning. I can't understand that. Hey, I got a point I wanted to make. You said something about your fraternity, and I wanted to ask because B. Cole mentioned something earlier about, and I've heard this before from a lot of Chicago artists, that we need to kind of galvanize and come together and stick with one another and just kind of link up for Chicago. Have you experienced anything like that, or how is the fraternity of Chicago like DJs? How is that, your experience with that?
Let me share from this perspective. I've always been a loner. I've always been a maverick. I've always kind of been like, he's over there by himself doing whatever. Like, you know, so doesn't matter if I DJ for First Fridays or DJ for Sipping on Sunday. Like, doesn't matter what I did. It was kind of like, even though I went to FAMU, I love U of I or I love Hampton. Even though I pledged Alpha, I still say my Sigma brother here, there. So that's something that's actually in this virtual world has been amazing, because I just DJ'd an event for the Qs a few weeks ago, and they're like, hey, we need that again. Because, you know, I was representing Q Sci-Fi. I'm doing an event for the Kappas in April. I'm representing KSI. I put everybody on my back when we ride, regardless of what my, you know, origination or my affiliation is. And I think that because I've always been that kind of person, then I've been able to, like I heard B. Cole mention E2, but I've been able to DJ E2 on a Saturday night and then go do Sipping on Sunday, which would be considered a whole different crowd on Sunday night. Or I could do, you know, the River West on Saturday night and then go and take it to a whole nother level and do the Convent with Dr. Love on Sunday night, because it wasn't like he only does that or he's that kind of person. I was kind of like more a person of the world, you know, where it was like anything that I can do to help you, I got your back. So a lot of the backstabbing and the not helping, I've never really been a part of that, because if anybody ever had anything bad to say, they weren't going to say it directly to me, because my paper was so clean on how I handle my business. And so I'm not saying that anyone who's ever had flack didn't handle their business, but I'm just saying in the DJ culture, that's kind of how things have been super clean on my end, because I've always, as a member of the technicians, had love for the heavy hitters, had love for the core DJs, had love for the violator DJs. It wasn't like, I don't mess with y'all because I'm in the technicians, or, you know. So that would be, you know, I wanted to kind of explain the breadth of that answer, because I love representing other organizations. I love it.
Okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Wonderful.
Hey B, I got a question for you, man. Let me take you off mute. So
Already,
B,
man.
what is,
What's up?
aside from Def Comedy Jam and Comic View, what is the biggest venue you have performed at? You hear me?
Yeah,
Are you there?
Okay,
Look
now
like
I need
statue.
you. Yeah, repeat that. Now
I
repeat
said-
that now.
I said, aside from Def Comedy Jam and Comic View, what is the biggest venue you have performed at?
Oh wow! I'm going to tell you, man. One of my biggest shows I've done. It was in the year 2001, and it was at the Metro in Wrigleyville, and I did a show with Prince. And
Ooh.
man, and yeah, and I did my poem. I did my poem. I'm in love with a crackhead, and Prince played his guitar behind me, which is crazy. If you go on the Metro's website, if you go on the Metro's website and look up the date when that happened, it got I'm in love with a crackhead in the playlist of Prince songs. So it'll come like When Doves Cry, If I Was Your Girlfriend, I'm in love with a crackhead, you know. So it became part of the concert. But just the story of me getting that job, is amazing, man. You know, it's crazy. You know, so it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, a story to tell. But yeah, that was I would say that was my biggest show, man. You know, performing with Prince.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Huge show. Huge show.
Yeah, because I actually met Prince prior to that. Hung out with him at his home in Paisley Park in the studio with him and Larry Graham and Roy Ayers and Roy Ayers.
Wow.
Roy Ayers was there, right? It was crazy. It was crazy.
Was y'all playing basketball?
You see, I did a show. I did a weekly show in Minneapolis, like every week, and didn't know that. I'm sorry, and didn't know that my DJ was friends with Prince. He did producing on Prince's album and stuff. So, they go back childhood friends and stuff. So, he took me. Yeah, he introduced me to Prince. Man, we went to his crib. Everything. Prince invited me to a show when he came to Chicago, and that's how I ended up getting on stage with him, man, and performing "I'm in Love with a Crackhead." And the crazy thing, Common was there, Macy Gray was there. Man, it was just one big, and it wasn't his concert; it was an after party. So Prince's after party is nothing but a secondary concert. You know,
I've seen that.
And yeah, so it was basically we was just all rocking out there, man, and it was amazing. You know.
Wow, that's dope. That is
so yeah,
dope.
so as you hear Prince stories from Dave Chappelle and Jamie Foxx, man, I got my Prince story, man. It's kind of hilarious, you know. So
they all seem to be.
It's hilarious, man. But Prince found himself to be a funny dude, man. He got a great sense of humor too, though, you know. But it's weird. It's a weird sense of humor. You don't know he joking, but come to find out, like, man, this dude, he messing with me, man. You know,
Right.
So it was one of them.
Brother Cole, I got another question for you from the fans.
Yes, sir.
Who would you like to work most with? So next time coming up, who would you like to work with most? This is from another viewer.
Wow, you know, that's very, very tricky, man, because I've worked with a lot. I worked with all the kings of comedy. I work with all the who's today, you know. But like I said, it goes back to my influence, Damon Wayans, man. I would love to work with Damon on any capacity. If it's a stand-up comedy show, a movie, sitcom, or whatever, you know. I think that'd be a big accomplishment for me to work with my mentor.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. Love that.
Yeah.
I would love to see that show.
I'll be front row. That boy, that's
Man,
awesome.
that'd be a great show.
And I actually, when I met Damon, he actually knew who I was because he watched Comic View. So that was big for me when he knew who I was. When I met him.
Comic View was, man,
I didn't realize how many people watch it. Like people who I met, celebrities like Chris Tucker and everybody, man. It was like they recognized me from that show. You know, I remember doing a show in St. Louis at Lincoln University, and I had an opening act there. And my opening act was called the St. Lunatics, and it was before Nelly even came out, you know. And they all opened up for me, and backstage they were all asking me questions like, man, how is it to be on TV, man? What is like, you know? And I'm giving them, you know, I'm just giving them some information, but then a short while later, Nelly blows up. And I'm like, wow, you know, so it's just amazing, man. Amazing of a lot of people who I've come across in their paths on their way, you know.
man, that's what's up. That's hot, man. We looking forward to it. You know, a lot of people don't know you've been in a few movies. You know what I'm saying? This ain't new to you.
A few, yeah. You know, been in a few, man. You got many more to go. You know.
Absolutely. Keep repping Chicago, brother. We love it, man. You one of our favorite. Like I said, F Comedy, Comic View, Laugh Factory. We know you. We know you, brother.
Head day.
Head day.
That is the all-time funniest out of everybody.
Oh, thank you, man.
That is hilarious.
And that was, if I'm not mistaken, B, that was one of your earlier acts, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was early, man. That's the early 2000s, really. You know,
because I think I watched that like on Def Comedy Jam, like for real, like
that was
20 years ago.
I shot that on Def Jam probably like in 05, 06 or something like that.
Yeah, when D-Ray was
D.L. Hewlett.
DL Hughley.
Yeah, DL Hughley was the host.
Oh,
Right.
DL Hughley.
DL Hughley was right. He was the host. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the host that season, and that was the same season Tiffany Haddish did it too for the first time. You know, she was on that season with me as well, along with a lot of other cats. Man, my man Patrice O'Neal, rest in peace. He was on the show too as well. You know, but man, we've had some fun times, man, throughout the years, man, and it's just amazing. I've seen everybody come into the game. Like from Cat Williams to Mike Epps to Gary Owens, man. I've seen everybody come in, you know, because I started in '91, like at the top of, you know, the whole invasion of urban comedy.
Man.
You know.
Hey, look, this is what I need you to do. All right. And I need Vince to be part of this too. All right. You need to have a homecoming weekend for Chicago. And Vince, you need to stand for it.
A homecoming weekend for
Chicago comedy.
For Chicago comedy. Got you.
Right.
That would be dope.
Man, just
we need to do that.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just somewhere in Chicago where you bring back everybody. And man, I'm telling you, it would be bigger than the Brewfest. It would be bigger than, I'm telling you, if you can get all the heavy hitters that left
Dude, that's
Chicago,
like house picnic worthy. Shoot.
man, I'm telling you.
Show
Oh my
a little homage to Bernie
You
Mac
right,
and Robin
you right.
Harris. Man.
That would be bigger than the house picnic.
It would be
That could grow bigger than the house picnic.
festival. That would be explosive. But Vince, that's something you and I we really need to get together and talk about, brother.
I mean, I'm all about that virtual life, so we can make it happen.
I just need tickets. I don't even want no profits. I just need tickets and a good front seat. That's it. That's all I want.
I want to be up front.
I got you guys. Hey, I'm sorry, man. I got to go and get the last comedian off stage, but I'll come back, man, and join you guys. But just excuse me for another minute. I'm
Please,
sorry.
please.
No problem. Do your thing. Do your thing,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
Hey Vince, I got a viewer that wanted to send out a little bit of shout to you, a little recognition. They said my 3 favorite DJs: Funk Flex, Kid Capri, and DJ Vince Adams. Man, that's love right there.
That's heavy company to be in. Absolutely.
Man.
Heavy company. I mean, you know, the funny thing is that now at the age of 50, this has been the biggest year of my career. This last year. I mean, it's amazing because, you know, you would think that your trajectory as a DJ would be on the decline, but you know, things were pretty good at 49. But this last year, you know, the network. I think for all of us, if we think of the fact that everybody here is probably closer to another resource than you were this time last year, because the world got a lot smaller because we were, you know, kind of like pushed in together for 4 months and nobody really moved.
Right.
Like, so everybody's network kind of expanded if you were in, you know, if you needed resources and you were making things happen. So my network actually mushroomed over this past year as opposed to contracted because I wasn't in place.
That's what's
cool.
up. That's what's up. And that's real. That's real cool because we all know, man, music has stopped wars, stopped invasions, has soothed the savage beast, so to speak, man. And what you did for us, like you said, again, I got to give you thanks for what you did for us over the COVID thing, man, just to give us some sense of normalcy. Yeah. You know, we couldn't technically go out and enjoy it, but we was able to turn it on in the crib. You know what I'm saying? Crack a brew and be like, man, I'm getting it. You know what I'm saying? I get my old school house. I get my regular DJ Vince Adams mix. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just love, man. So again, we thank you for that, man. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
And like I said, you probably kept me and my lady from breaking up, man. I just go lay down and listen to music. Don't say nothing. Leave her alone.
I mean, if I can share like 2 quick things about it that's kind of interesting if people really think about it. COVID actually rejuvenated my love for DJing. It rejuvenated my love for DJing. Here's why. If you were DJing in the club, at the wedding, at the gala, at the whatever in 2018, you play a song that people don't know and don't like, they walk off the dance floor. I mean, that's just kind of how the mainstream party is. Like, if you're not banging, now it's a little different in the house scene sometimes. But you even hear people complain about the chosen few, like, why they playing all these songs? I don't know. Like, so it's one of those things where, as a DJ, if you came up through music in the '80s, the whole thing in the '80s was more so like you wanted people to be able to be introduced to new music. We can all say, I remember where I was when I heard the Benjamins. I can remember where I was when I heard Time Marches On. I remember this one time I was at Mendel and this dropped and it went backwards. And like everybody has their stories about where they remember, but music after the iPod and streaming kind of got to like, if I don't know it, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
So as a DJ, it kind of turns you into like, if you're not playing what people expect to hear, then, so it gets a little redundant. You feel a little jukebox-ish afterwards. But what COVID did, because you had their undivided attention, is that you can now start to introduce new music and do different things and kind of get back to the roots of opening things up for people sonically, where they can ask you that one great question that every DJ wants to hear. What's the name of that song?
Mm-hmm.
Great DJs want to introduce people to songs and then have the people say, wow, I've never heard that before. What's the name of that song? We got away from that. Mm-hmm. And COVID, because we had people's collective attention and you weren't worried about clearing the dance floor, you were able to do that. And then the second thing is for the brothers that said, I'm going to wait till everything gets back to normal. They missed a huge opportunity
Man,
to expand their network, because now it's people in Germany and the UK and in France that know who I am that otherwise would not have known. So what we have to remember is that there are a lot more people in the house than there are in the clubs and at festivals.
That's true.
And if music is now meeting people where they are, even when things go back to normal, you'll still have the people that need a babysitter or just don't do clubs like that or whatever. That's an untapped market that's never been tapped before. But if 12% of the people are out and 88% of the people at home, you've got a whole new bigger network that you're connecting with, that if you just decided to be an in-person DJ, that you're kind of missing out on. So it's actually been a bigger experience to decide to go virtual, because you're meeting a whole lot more people, and business-wise, there's some incredible things happening. But the other thing is it's allowing DJs to actually be what they were before, is introduce, break music, share a different experience than just hearing blow the whistle. Like, okay, we've done that. We blown the whistle before.
Right.
It garnered expansion for you.
Man, that's why I said rejuvenated my love for DJing, because it gets you back now to being able to do things that you used to be able to do in '88 or even '98, but by 2008 it was just like, play that Gucci. Like, just play that song that we wanted. So
Go ahead, T.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Vince, I checked out your Twitch the other day, and then I watched it again the next week, and you have a different format than I've ever seen before. You actually have other people on with you, and you all are talking about the song. It's actually entertaining.
Are you talking about two bros in the video?
Yeah. So you have two other people, and you all are talking about either the song, or you might be talking about someone in the chat or whatever. But it was interesting. It was fun. It was funny. It made me want to keep watching.
Right. I've actually had to put that show on hiatus, because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you have to like kind of put it all together. And I've got so many I'm busier now than I've ever been as a DJ, and I haven't DJ'd in person since Mexico, March of 2020.
Wow.
Way busier now than I was last year, with paid events and as well my own projects that had like I did 10 events last week.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's
what the man himself is, for real.
Man, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing for sure.
Yes, and to stand in the same spot and not be like, can you play my girl's song? I was in the bathroom when you played that. It's my sister's birthday. Can you?
No request.
I'm just standing in the room by myself, man. It's
cool.
It's a very interesting, pivot. It's a way different dynamic, but I'm super busy. I have a daily show that I do from 2 to 3:30, and today I just looked at the metrics. DJ Scratch Bastard, going back to what JB said, who is one of the biggest turntablists in the world, brought his party over to my party, which is something you can do on Twitch. So so I didn't know Scratch Bastard this time last year, but he's like, hey, I'm gonna take this crowd of 1,000 people and put my crowd of 1,000 people in your party. And I looked at the metrics, and it was over 1,500 views of that event just today. So I mean, it's Scratch Bastard is in Canada. A lot of the viewers were from around the world, and he brought them over into my party. So it's a way different experience. But here's the one thing I want to tell all the DJs: 95% of the people on Twitch didn't know who I was until I broke the ground to make it happen. Okay. So I don't want anybody to say, but nobody knew who I was in June 2020 in Connecticut or, Denver, Colorado or whatever. I had to start from the ground, from zero. And now I've got 10,000, people that are connected to my channel, over a year. And actually I joined in June, mid-May, late May. So in less than a year, 10,000 people connected to the channel. But now, connected to Jazzy Jeff and Scratch Bastard and starting from scratch, and Chubby Chub and, Craig G from Mixtape Days in Connecticut. Like, these are all like we sending each other messages and doing things because they didn't know who I was, or some of them didn't, but prior to this, but everybody had the same opportunity, just who was going to go out there and make it happen.
So Vince, let me ask you this, because you just sparked something. When you're dealing with that, that mass of people from just all over, I mean, like, how do you like, what music hits everybody? Here we have house, DC got go-go, Detroit got jit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you how do you like kind of bring all that together, because you're worldwide now? So how do you kind of like bring that together? I
think that's a dope question. And the interesting thing is, I was watching a cat today. His name is Heron Love, Heron Love. Like the fish, okay. And he's from Brazil. And he's playing Drake and Nicki Minaj and Trey Songz. Like music is so universal. Like today during that set, I was playing everything from Moombahton, which is kind of like a more clubby version of reggae. I was playing Moombahton remixes of DMX, all the way over to a reggae version of Blow the Whistle, not the original version. Like I'm all playing all of these different edits and things that people have never heard before, and because you've got people's undivided attention, they're more into it than if you were to be DJ JB from Chicago and you land in Montreal, Canada. It's like, what you gonna play? Right. You don't know us. Right. But it's different when you come right to their house or right to their device. It's a little bit more accepting. Like, wow, this is different. Let me see what Chicago sounds like. You know what I'm saying? So as opposed to you kind of conforming to them, and of course you can't necessarily go too far, but I got a 3-hour house party on Wednesday nights that attracts over 1,200 people a Wednesday night. That's on Twitch. Everything is on Twitch.
Okay. Everything is on Twitch. Okay. We gonna have you drop that information at the end of the show so that people that are not familiar with Twitch can get on and follow you. Because like you said, you already know you got a hell of a following here in Chi-Town. Mm-hmm. You already do. So love for that, man.
And congratulations to you, brothers, because there's somebody in Texas watching this. There's somebody in California watching this. There's somebody in Louisiana watching this. And that's what I try to tell all my clients, because I got a lot of clients that I work with, that I produce virtual events with. I'm like, you're not doing a local show. You're a local host for a national event.
For a national event. Love that. Very, very much. Very much. Welcome back.
Vince, I got a quick question. Really a quick statement, then a question. Like, just I love when things happen organically, and this just happened organically. A lot of our guests have had a connection with HBCUs. They've been a student. They've known somebody. They've known somebody. And HBCUs have been getting an enormous amount of shine lately because of the Deion effect. and things of that and things of that nature. The NBA and everybody is kind of just jumping on board. But can you share your experience? I know you mentioned FAMU, but what made you, because you came from a pretty powerhouse of a school, Whitney Young.
Right. I mean, super short. I wanted to go to University of Michigan or UCLA.
And I know a lot of your buddies, U of I guys and things like that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. My wife went to U of I. She got 2 degrees from U of I. So yeah, you know, so the deal is that I wanted to go to UCLA or University of Michigan as a junior. And the class of 87 graduated. That was my junior year. And then, you know, sometimes the seniors, you know, are sitting around, and the people that went off to college come home for Christmas break and come back up to, you know, school. And then the people that went to Hampton were like, man, it was incredible. The people that went to U of I were like, man, it was incredible. The people that went to FAMU was like, I can't even put it into words. They were like, I was like, what happened at FAMU? And literally weeks after that, I got invited to a banquet where they were giving away scholarships. And when I heard about the credentials that FAMU had, the business school, how they were competing against Harvard and Wharton, and I was like always kind of relegated, you know, HBCUs in my head, you know, as a 17-year-old to be substandard. And this is what I told myself. The world ain't black, the world is white. So I'm about to go to a white school and learn how they do things. That was just my thought. But what I learned going to FAMU is that they actually prepared a black man to go out in a white world and be dominant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wish my son was down here to see this. Oh my God.
That was what I learned. And that's where the switch went from going to going to a Big Ten school or going to a Pac-10 school. And I only applied to 3 schools, Hampton, Howard, and FAM. After that, I just applied to those schools, got into all 3, decided to go to FAMU. Best decision I ever made. I pledged with Kwame Kilpatrick, who was the mayor of Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit, yeah.
When I was pledging spring 90, I lived next door to a girl named Keisha Lance, who is now Keisha Lance Bottoms. So she flies me to Atlanta before her inauguration, like, Vince, let's turn up and show them how FAMU, like, you know, I pledged a little guy named Will Packer, who is the most powerful black man in Hollywood.
Wow.
Right now. So FAMU is like the nucleus of a lot of things that
your
that
network
take place.
is strong, brother. Your network is strong.
Shout out to Beta Nu.
Nuts. And so that's what I'm saying is that you know, so that's why I say great question to ask, because HBCU was not my focus. And that's why I say that 5 years at FAM, those 6 years of Whitney Young, those relationships are what, you know, projected everything. You know, I'm sitting in the Shark Bar DJing, and one of my girls who I used to hang out with at Mother Macaulay, who knew everybody at Whitney Young, is like, Vince, I didn't know you could DJ like that. How would you like to be on BET? I'm like, sure. She's like, yeah, there's a little show called Planet Groove. It's hosted by Rachel. Of course. I'm like, I know Planet Groove.
I remember that.
Yeah, she's like, we have something called DJ Tuesdays. I was like, I know. She's like, I need you on that. I'm like, I'm there. And this is when BET was in DC, but that was my high school network. So that's what I'm saying. Like I owe a lot to those years of just being in the right pockets.
Wow.
But FAMU took it to a whole nother level.
That's awesome.
Oh, most definitely.
Shout out
That
to
is it's so enlightening. Will, you got to get your son in the mix, man.
Man, I got to, you know, because it's funny. It's funny he's saying that, because those are the conversations that my son has with me now. And he's a junior in high school. He goes to, well, it's no longer predominantly white high school, but you know, it's pictured as a white high school and things like that, and that's his comfort level. And I say, you know, and I've reached out to John, and I've reached out to another one of our other good friends, that he needs to open his eyes and open the doors to going to HBCU, you know. And if it's not for him, it's not for him. But I don't want him to shut it down like that, because I'm hearing all these wonderful stories, you know, especially through this podcast. Like we say, we've been inundated with a lot of talk from HBCUs now. and I'm hearing more and more and more, you know, and I'm getting more educated on it myself, and just to see these things. So, you know,
I'm going to say this super quick, just as a vote for fam. One of the things that made it incredible is that it's not quite a college town. So if you go to Hampton, it's like Hampton. But Tallahassee is the capital of Florida.
Right.
So it's actually a school in a city. The other thing is that it's across the tracks from a huge mega house school, Florida State. So I got all of that huge SEC rivalry of the University of Miami coming into town and the people painting their face. Like I got a lot of that white school experience going to FAMU because I got to experience, you get to go to the FSU games and party at FSU and all of that. So I got a whole lot of different experiences. Whereas if you go to Howard, love the Bisons, but DC is the capital of the country. So you're you know, this, you know, 7-block thing where the whole thing is about DC. So you're really in a metropolitan area. You're not like in the cut, like, you know, you're in a major city. If you go to Morehouse, you're in a major city as a college. I'm not saying that's not a great experience, but it was something about going to a small school and a small but established town with a big white school right across the street. I got so many different experiences, you know, with all of those different, you know, juxtapositions all happening at the same time. And when I go back, it's not much different. It looks totally different, but the experience is still, FSU is right there, FAMU is right there, still, you know. So it's amazing. I go back every year.
And see, that diversity was invaluable at that time because
every year
playing sports, they didn't tell us about HBCUs. Like we read about them in history books, but they was like, go to the state.
Yeah, if you want to make it happen, you go into the real D1, not the little one that kind of gets in at the bottom of the bubble. You need to be at the top, right? Absolutely. Yeah, but you know, I don't know if y'all know that LeBron James just signed a Nike athletic deal with FAMU.
I know that. That's big.
You know now.
Yeah. LeBron James, or like if you go to LeBron James' Instagram, it's FAMU. He's got on the FAMU Nikes, the LBJs, FAMU colors in the Lakers game, and
I mean, we know Bullet Bob Hayes, you know, and that track record that's never that 4x4 relay that's never
the net is expanding on what HBCUs are. The perspective and Beyonce Homecoming, believe it or not, created a lot of interest in kids wanting to know more about HBCUs and stuff. And I you know, B. Cole is my dude. Like, you know, please let's bring, you know, he's royalty. We got to bring B back into this conversation for sure.
And B is a Julian Jaguar. We got love for Julian Jaguar.
This collab, man. I'm telling you.
B,
unmute yourself. We can't hear you, bro.
Unmute yourself, B.
Yeah, okay, here I am. Hey man, you know what? I'm a Jaguar man, alumni. Before I attended Julian, man, my grade school from 1st to 8th grade, man, I went to private school, a little small school called Assumption BVM in the middle of the Wild Hundreds, man, and we consider ourselves like the diamond in the rough, you know. We were like right in the middle of the hood, and it was a small private school where we wore uniforms and ties, and so the transition from that to high school was crazy because it was public school for me, you know. So I had to really adjust and really, just learn my culture, you know what I'm saying? Because like as Vince was saying, like going to the white schools and stuff like that, you know, they teach you on a whole nother system, you know, and it's not what I've been taught with public school. It was different. But my experience with HBCU schools, like I said, by me doing stand-up comedy after high school, my only experiences with colleges and universities was performing at homecomings, you know. So all my college experiences has been parties and kicking it and hanging. And I was like, wow, I'm thinking this is what the college life is like throughout the whole year, you know. So that was my experience. And what's so funny, my first manager, he graduated from Howard University. His name is Vince Bass. Adams, I know you know Vince Bass.
Yeah, I'm big Vince. He's little Vince.
That was my very first manager, man, and he came out of Howard University degree. And man, like I said, those was my experiences on college campuses, man, of having fun just doing comedy shows.
Hey B, who's on that show with you tonight?
Yo,
who you got on that show tonight?
I got some. What I do, I bring up a lot of up-and-comers. I got a young man named Ted Biggums on the show that y'all gonna see a lot in the future of this guy, man. He's very funny. Then I also have my man D. D started with me. Her name is Cherie Luckett. Cherie Luckett, she started with me back in the All Jokes Aside days, man, when she went off and did Def Comedy Jam, and Adele Givens took her under her wing and went and toured with the Queens of Comedy. So it's a lot of Chicago comedians that's here that's funny that really isn't nationally known as a lot of other comedians as well, you know. But we have a lot of comedians here, man, that I'll be rotating every week. So every Tuesday I'm at Studio 2226, and if you all follow me on my Instagram, B-Cole Comedian, follow me on Facebook, B-Cole, man, you'll get all that information of what's coming up.
Yeah, we got to come check you out one night, man. That's what's up.
Man, we got to, man.
Please
Dude, you got to put that show together, man. You got to put that show together.
It will be, man. It will be. Now, my hour special is coming out on Amazon Prime real soon. I don't have a release date yet, but it's my stand-up comedy hour is called Welcome Back Comedy. And I went back to Julian to shoot it. I went back to Julian.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I shot it and it was the summer of 2019, right before COVID. I shot it, and man, it was a nice turnout. It was good going back to the school, so that's why I call it Welcome Back Comedy, man. Like in the same sense of Welcome Back Kotter. You know? Yeah. And so I'm waiting on that release date right now. I was trying to get a 420 release date, you know, just you know, you guys go ahead and smoke one and enjoy the show, you know.
Well, shoot, keep us posted so we can promote, man. Always all love, man.
Absolutely, I will do.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hey Vince, you want to drop your Twitch information?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody goes to twitch.tv, you can search for all your favorite DJs. So DJ Jazzy Jeff, DJ, twitch.tv. Yep. And I recommend anybody just go to a website. Like, you don't need an app, you don't need anything special. Just go to twitch.tv on the website. And all Twitch is the YouTube alternative to, just a stream program, kind of like YouTube is owned by Google. Twitch is owned by Amazon.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So it's, if anybody's like Twitch, yeah, it's just like, YouTube, but it's just that it's, owned by Amazon. So they're competing platforms, if you will, but there's a whole gamification and there's a lot of different things going on Twitch that actually bring people even further into the experience, because you can build a community through these emotes. So like, I can tell my entire party that subscribes to my channel, it's time for a bass check, and you just see the entire channel flood with these emotes that say bass check. And because everything is high fidelity in the sound, like I can do like an old, Ron Hardy, boom, 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 boom. And if you got me on a Bluetooth or a sound bar, I'm beating it in your house. But all of these emotes are going up on the chat saying bass check, bass check. It's amazing. It's an entirely different experience, and for people to do it, it becomes somewhat a great alternative. Doesn't mean you'll never go back out, or it's just a good option, So sometimes it's a party, in Hyde Park and a party happening in Wicker Park at the same time. You're not going to be in two places at once. So this is just an alternative. Like one day it's a good day to go out, another day it's a good day to be in. Because I'm laughing at Will, and I'm gonna say, I don't know when y'all gonna see me back out.
Hey man, look. No, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, man, I can have my own party in my house. I can just connect with this Twitch.
Will, here's the future. You're gonna have one DJ and 400 people in the party, but 100 of those people are gonna have people in their basement, and it's gonna be 6 to 8 people. Man. Just chilling in that basement, and it's really 1,000 people. But you hooked it up to a big screen TV,
Yep.
So I'm on the 65, 75 inch TV with the subwoofer and everything, and it's your people sitting around and y'all playing cards and ordering food, and somebody's on
Nah,
the grill.
let me tell you,
or
I'm about
whatever.
to get kicked out of the neighborhood because we're gonna put it on the 100-foot screen.
Screen?
I mean, 100 screen
Backyard.
I'm
It's
doing
gonna get real.
I'm doing a party in Atlanta on Juneteenth, and it's not related to Juneteenth, but it just happens to be on Juneteenth. But I'm going to be in Chicago, and they're bringing the sound and the projector and everything to the hotel, and I'm doing the party virtually, and from Chicago, and they're projecting me and the sound at the venue, and then I'll have a camera in the hotel showing me what the dance floor looks like. And man, this is, remember how we grew up on Blade Runner and and Running Man and all these futuristic hologram type, like this is the future where, if you were a club promoter in the age of COVID, would you like to have Jazzy Jeff in person where you flew him to Texas, you put him up in Texas, you did all the things, all the expenses, you hired the driver, you gave him a per diem, all of those, or would you like to pay him the same rate and put him in the 20 screens in your event and had quality sound coming out, and now Jazzy Jeff is rocking your event. He's getting paid the same amount of money, but he gets to do it from Delaware, which is the state he lives in, and it's the same quality party, because if the DJ is over there and you over there, you ain't looking.
True.
So there's some changes. Like you can be like, heard it here first. Everybody, CCP, heard it here first.
So
there's some changes that are coming to the entertainment world.
Let me
say this real quick,
Go ahead,
JB.
go ahead.
Wasn't there a virtual crowd sitting in the All-Star game?
Yeah. There it is.
We just expanded upon that. Absolutely. I love it. I had a couple people ask me, what times are you on and what days? I'm assuming you have something like throughout the week.
Here's dope. Here's what's dope. If anybody goes to my Twitch page, it has a little button. So twitch.tv/DJ Vince Adams, just like it's on the screen. And there's a button that says schedule, and my schedule pops up right there on the screen.
Gotcha.
So I do a Monday through Friday party, midday. It's called the Late Lunch Mix from 2 p.m. Central, 3 o'clock Eastern for 90 minutes. And here's the dynamic of the Late Lunch Mix. So the 6 of us are best friends, and we all went to Julian. You like how I did that, Rico? So we all went to Julian, and we all got 6-period lunch. Remember sitting at the lunch table with your friends, man, you were like 5 minutes late to your next period because y'all were like, no, you eat it, man, give me that cookie. Give me the cookie, and I'll give you the milk. Like y'all just have fun. I'm recreating that energy, and it's called the Late Lunch Mix, where we're just getting together for 90 minutes, but I have a game show in the middle of it, and the game show is interactive.
Oh, that's what's up.
And the game, so you play the game from your computer. You play it so if you're watching from your phone or your iPad, you get to vote on your phone or your iPad. If you're on your computer, you get to, if you're on your Apple TV, you get to use your remote and say 1, 2, 3, or 4. And so I play this game. So, we've all seen the boxes that come up on Instagram. You're going to a concert. Which one of these people don't you want to see? Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, Beyonce, or Toni Braxton. You like, I don't want to see Toni Braxton. I don't want to see Mariah Carey. Well, the name of the game is called Something's Gotta Go, where you're eliminating a person, and man, the arguments and the fights that pop off. But it's digital. So when you vote, your vote registers on the screen real time.
Oh, so you can see it. Yeah.
So people are politicking like, y'all got to get rid of Luther. How the hell you going to get rid of Luther? Like in the chat, like they're going back and forth. And then I drop a Luther song in the middle of the chat. Like, that's why you can't get rid of Luther. And it just goes. So we do that 90 minutes a day. That's Monday through Friday. I do something called the 10,000 Steps house music party every Wednesday. I woke up on a Sunday and I was like, I'm going to make a house party where I encourage people to work out. But if they want to do shots and smoke cigars, that's cool too. And you've never done anything like taking shots and smoke cigars and felt like you could be in an active environment. So what it is I'm just a soundtrack to whatever you want to do for this 3 hours. But I actually have people come on screen, and you see women that are 65 hula hooping. You see girls that are 35 doing aerobics. Like, it's this whole community of people where if you want to
Soundtrack
work
to
out,
life.
that's it. I'm just your soundtrack for 3 hours, and I encourage people to be active. But if they want to do a shot clock in the chat, like we're about to do a shot in 15 minutes, anybody that's in, we're about to do the shot. I'm like, go ahead. Like, it's just an open environment, but you'll have somebody, 6 people on screen hula hooping at the same time that they doing the shot. It's just an open environment. And then somebody's like, I'm from Germany, I'm from Brazil, I'm from the Netherlands.
That's love.
In the chat real time. So that's Wednesday. And then on Saturdays, I do special events. So this Saturday, I'm doing an All About the Aries virtual party where everybody that's an Aries, I'm representing the entire sign this April 3rd. But all of those are up on my Twitch schedule, and 100% of my events on Twitch, because Twitch doesn't cut off the DJs like Instagram and Facebook where,
Right.
you know, yes. So that's why all of my parties over at Twitch.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you mentioned game, because we got a game that we're gonna try out. It's called How Chicago Is You.
How Chicago is you?
We playing with both of y'all. So we have 3 questions each
Okay.
that we ask. So it's 12 questions total, but I don't know if Will got questions or not. So if you answer half of them wrong, you might not be from Chicago.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You might not be from Chicago. So
I'm not gonna lie. I just had a little bead of sweat open up in my face. Like, oh shit! Like, let's see what happens. I want to be from Chicago, so let's see the question.
So we give you 5 seconds to answer each.
5 seconds. Can we do 8? It's your show, and I'm lobbying for seconds.
It's that's Chicago questions. So if you can't answer them in 5 seconds, you might not be from Chicago.
Fair enough. Fair
So
enough.
after the 5 seconds,
I wasn't gonna try to Google it, but cool.
yeah, Google is not allowed.
No Alexa either.
After the 5 seconds, and we need your answer.
We got the
All right?
air horn and everything. This is official.
So we gonna start with Vince. Who wants to start off the questions?
I got one. First
All right.
question. First question. There's 4 corners to Stony Island and 79th Street. Name the establishments on those 4 corners.
4. The Regal, White Castle. There's a little chicken shack on the southeast side of it, but there's 4. There's nothing. There's just the merge that happens on the.
Hey, you forgot White Castle.
That's it, White Castle. That was the second one I said. Yeah, I'm like it's the Regal. It's the Regal on the southeast, and then on the southwest is just the merge. Northwest is White Castle, and northeast it's like a chicken shack.
Yeah, and you got to include the Muslim brother with the bean pies.
Right in the middle of the street. That's why you get paid the big. That's why you get paid the big dollars, and the final call.
All right, Bill. What's your next question?
No, go rotate it. Go to another one. Somebody else. Let somebody else ask a question.
All right.
So who's this going to? Is it going to be?
Yeah, I want to go to B. Cole, my Julian brother. Check this out. You gotta be from Chicago. You know this. I need you to name the second black mayor of Chicago.
Wow, the second black mayor of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that wouldn't be the current mayor we have now?
No.
Lord Lightfoot?
Eugene Sawyer.
I thought. Wait, Harold Washington.
Eugene Sawyer.
We're gonna have to use your mic, this.
Wait, not Harold Washington?
No.
Eugene Sawyer.
Yep, Eugene Sawyer.
Because Harold Washington took over Harold Washington when he passed away.
Oh wow.
I get B. Cole's point too. Give me that. I got 2 questions. I got 2 of them. Because if the person doesn't ask the question, then the other person is allowed to steal.
What?
I just made
I didn't get that, man.
Like Family Feud still. Okay, I got my question. Vince, I'm going to you.
All right, you got me on that one.
How Chicago is you? How far south does the red line go?
Oh man, I want to just say 95th
How
Street.
far the red line go?
Yeah, I mean 95th.
95th.
Yeah.
95th Street.
All right. So I got one for you, Vince. In the 80s, who was the hottest white DJ on Chicago's #1 urban contemporary station?
Oh man.
Kenny Jam and Jason. Oh, you mean on air personality? Wait, on air personality.
On air.
Bob Wall.
Good job.
Bob Wall. See, Bob Wall was an on-air personality. Kenny Jason was a DJ. So
DJ.
Kenny Jam and Jason, yes.
Oh, okay.
I got a question
So-
for B. Cole. This is against you. How Chicago is you? Name the premier comedy club in Chicago in the late 80s and early 90s.
The late 80s, early 90s, the premier comedy club was All Jokes Aside, brother.
My man.
Yep.
All jokes
The place where I
aside.
started. That was
I'm like,
place to start,
they call it the house that B. Cole built. How could he not get that one?
Hey, and you better not come in there with no jeans on, or Mary was gonna get you, right?
Exactly.
Mary was gonna have you.
and no schmediums.
Right. All right, Vince.
My man.
How Chicago is you? Name 5 high school basketball players that are well known in Chicago.
Derrick Rose, Ben Wilson, Marcus Liberty, Nick Anderson, and Kenny Battle.
Not Kenny Battle.
But I love
He's
Kenny
from
Battle was my
Aurora.
dude, though.
All right.
Kenny Battle was a beast.
He was a beast, absolutely, but he's from
Yes, sir.
Aurora.
Aurora.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett. I mean,
Kevin Garnett
Hey,
from South Carolina.
but he went to.
He went to Farragut, so yes.
All right, Q. I mean,
Q, Z, Tim Hardaway from Carver. We got tons.
But Jay is saying that Q went to Whitney Young, so I should have gotten.
You should have got
Hey, Terry Cummins. We can't forget about Terry Cummins. All-Girl Guards, Carver High School.
Come on now.
So I got one for B. B, I want you to name the 2 most famous Chicago comedians who are not alive.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, of course the great Bernie Mac. Okay, and I'm gonna say Mr. Carl Wright. If you all remember Carl Wright.
I remember Carl Wright, but that's not what he's doing.
Robin Harris.
Chicago.
Dude,
I have a feeling that you're not really from Chicago.
No, Robin Harris, and he died the night of his performance at the Regal Theater, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Chicago icon and legend.
Yes, man. Man, my bad.
Now
I got one from Vince that man. We got a Chicago Cub legend, and he's also an alum of FAMU.
It's not Ernie Banks.
It is not.
Yeah. No. Yeah, baseball is not. I'll take the strike on baseball. That's not my strong suit.
I like the pun.
I'll take a guess. Andre Dawson. I don't know.
It is Andre Dawson. Come on, B. Cole.
B trying to make a comeback. Hey, Vince, I ain't know that shit either. I ain't know that shit, man.
Right.
Yeah, did you just make that shit up, man?
There They don't teach a whole lot of Black history at Morehouse. I can understand why you might
All
not.
right, man. You and these damn Morehouse jokes, man.
He keep getting you. Golden Tiger versus the Tiger. He keep getting you. Hey, Vince, we got a statement and a question for Vince. The statement was, one of our viewers says, you sound like our 44th president.
I've gotten that quite a bit.
I've
gotten that quite a bit. And to have met him and we talked to one another. That's
about that another day, yeah.
Right.
But our How Chicago Is You question. This one's hard, bro. It's hard.
Okay.
What goes on a Chicago style hot dog?
Oh wow.
I know a Polish is just grilled onions and mustard.
That's a Jewtown Polish.
Yeah, I'm a Polish eater. I'm not a hot dog eater. So that one got me.
I would say like mustard, tomato, onions, and green peppers. Again, I guess. I don't know.
You left out the pickle.
Mustard, tomatoes, onions, and green peppers.
Yeah, green peppers on the hot dog.
Hey, it's Taco Tuesday. He just wants to spice it up.
And clearly he went international on that one.
Okay, you got one? Because if not, I got another one.
Oh, that was my three. Go ahead, T-Nick.
All right. Vince, what is the late night cash only shrimp spot?
Lawrence's?
Cash only.
Cash only.
And they make sure they tell you that shit too.
Starts with an S on division, blue and white sign. Super breaded, like
extremely breaded.
Right, I know it. It's
Island.
Goose Island. Oh, there it is. There
I give it to you. You got it. You got it. Anybody else?
I got one more question. I was told that both of you all, Vince, you more so, but both of you all are pretty well known with Chicago sports. How Chicago is you? What was the original name of the Chicago Bears?
Oh wow.
Yeah, I ain't that Chicago. Yeah, I'll take the hit on that one.
There, guys. I don't know that one.
The Decatur Staleys. Wow.
Decatur Staleys, exactly.
Hey, I'm starting to think y'all for the suburbs, man.
Yeah.
Hey, whoa, watch your mouth, young fella.
Yeah, I don't know if Lori Lightfoot would even know that.
Don't do that.
He probably couldn't answer
This is my last one for whoever wants to take it. Especially since both of you guys are in the entertainment. Okay. Name 3 after-hour breakfast spots for when the clubs close in Chicago.
You want to go B or I'll go? You got Tempo, you got White Palace.
That's the top 2 right there.
And the third, Bijan's.
Okay.
They stay open till 4. It's not, and you can order breakfast. So, and there's a spot like out. There used to be what was it back? Man, there was a spot early 2000s. Everybody went. Man, it's not open anymore, but that spot everybody went to.
I'm sorry, I missed the question, guys. I missed that question.
Okay, then you get a chance to answer.
Could you repeat the question?
Yep. Name 3 after-hour breakfast spots for when the clubs close.
Oh, okay. I know Tempo's is one.
Yep.
Was it Tempo's?
Yeah.
White Palace.
That's number 2.
And the Hollywood Grill on North Avenue.
Okay, that's good.
And that's the one I was actually thinking about when I said there's one up north.
And they stay open till 4.
So I guess y'all in Chicago.
I got one more. I got one. Hold on, I got a good one.
All right, go ahead.
This Family Feud style. Whoever want to answer first. The top 100 people survey said.
Top 5 answers on the board.
Who is the most famous gangster in Chicago?
Woo! Fluky Stokes.
I was gonna say Fluky, but then I switched over to
Larry Hoover.
That was the second one I was trying to get to. But Fluky came to mind first, but I was like, I think it was Hoover.
Yeah.
So y'all pick Fluky on the album?
No, I knew it was, in my thought it wasn't Fluky. That's why I was like, it's somebody else, and the name is escaping me.
Them niggas is famous among black folks.
Yeah, I'm like charge it to my Whitney Youngest, you know. Charge it to that.
So I got one more. B, you a movie dude, so you might get this first. It's either one of y'all. What horror movie was filmed in Cabrini Green?
Candyman.
That was
Maybe you is from Chicago.
JB, you caught that buzzer action.
Right. You were quick on the draw with that one, boy.
Yes, sir.
And this was fun. This was a lot of fun, man.
No doubt.
It was great to have both of you icons on here, man.
Man, thank you,
Definitely.
man. Hey, and once again, I apologize about the multitasking here, man, double booking. But I mean, I would be happy to come back onto the show, man, if you ever have me again, guys. Really.
And we would love to have you back. We would love to have you back. And man, I mean, don't even worry about the multitasking. You was here. And we had a great time, man. So it's all good.
That's a super dude right there. Love you, B. Continue success, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Got me going after this to watch Damon Wayans. I'm gonna check out his stuff. I'm gonna check out Damon Wayans. I'm in love with a crackhead.
Oh, I gotta watch that. I didn't watch that in about 10 years, man. I gotta put that on Tubi. You said it's on Tubi.
Yeah, get togethers on Tubi, man. Check it out. A get together, man, and just enjoy it, brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, B, put some jingle bells on that bit. Put some jingle bells on that bit. Hey, man, great to have you, brother. Great to have you,
yes,
man.
Sir.
Be safe.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Thanks, man. V. Adams, man. Let's talk, man. On the real. Let's make something happen.
You got it, B. Oh, I got you, brother.
Vince, man, it was
okay,
awesome
cool. Without
to
a
have
doubt.
you on the show. Awesome to have you on the show, Vince.
No problem.
You dropped some gems, man.
Yes, you did.
Some definite gems.
I appreciate it. Always kind of working the angles for sure.
It's great to know the man behind the music, man. Real talk.
Thank you.
Because like you said, you have like basically orchestrated a lot of our parties from high school on to our adult years. So, you know, a lot of people didn't know, man. Man, that's DJ Vince Adams who was DJing that party when we was, man, yeah. That's who that was.
Yeah, that's the fun thing is that I did get started in high school, went to college, took it up to a whole nother level. And Teddy Gilmore started ClubNet and brought me into ClubNet and said, I want you to hire the DJ. So I would hire Ferris and I would book Steve Maestro. And he had an office on Superior. And I'm DJing in the office. And this is 96. And people are like, man, that's a nice, tape y'all playing. Because nobody had even CDs that were pre-recorded at that point. They're like, that's not a tape, that's Vince in there. They're like, he spins like that? Like, yeah, he used to do all our parties. And they were like, wow, like he's good. And Teddy was like, you're up. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you're doing the next party. And the next party was Union Station.
Union Station, I remember. Oh my God.
Yeah, the next party was Union Station, which was the biggest capacity of any ClubNet party because the first ClubNet party was in the Field Museum. And then Union Station, he got the entire Union Station for the party.
And that was huge back then, man.
It was over 1,500 people, and that was my first party in '96. Back in that party, just everything
that's awesome.
Went from there. And then all the other things and the River West and Teddy at the River West. Y'all need to have Teddy on. This dude had Marcus Chapman, Dr. Love, the Chocolate Jocks, Rick Party, and one other, like he had the whole lineup of everybody who was major at WGCI as the host for one party. And I used to finish that and go over to E2 and close out man. And that was even before the Buddha. So like Chicago, like that's home. Like it's amazing. So what you all are doing and, just keeping life breathed into the culture and the community and, these fun stories and everything. It's amazing. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
I'm glad to have you, man.
Oh,
And
pleasure,
you
brother.
definitely got to come back. We definitely want to have you back.
For sure.
Gotta come back, and we want to get in touch with you too, man.
I just dropped the math. I mean, they ain't got it, but y'all got it.
We got it. Thank you.
There's my number. Anybody, I'm very easy to connect with.
For sure, man.
Okay.
Well, appreciate you, brother.
Much love,
You have a
family.
good one, man. No
You
doubt.
got it. Continue blessings.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
You got it.
Great having you, man.
Yep. Let me fix this damn light. This has been getting on my nerves.
Wait,
Yo, over with now. He gonna fix the light.
right? You want to fix the light?
Nigga, we ain't see you. We ain't see you.
That's it. That's all.
Hey, wait a minute. What did Vince say that B. Cole said about him back in the day?
The person with the mic always wins.
No, I'm talking about he was roasting him when he first came in. What did he say?
Oh, the medium.
About the medium.
Oh yeah, that's T. Nick got this medium shirt on now. I don't know if you saw.
Hey, you got me to tell you the live.
Put the eyes down. You show me
Hey, he got me doing. Hey, dude.
Hey, he got me to throw him the light. Throw me the live. Throw me the live.
Yeah, I'm going. Hey, T. Nick didn't see it coming. Like, man, if you don't,
What is he
you got
talking
100
about?
in shirt.
Hey, man.
You better go.
I like my medium shirt.
That
He
is,
said he
that
was-
is
Man,
whoa.
you ain't got one your side?
Damn.
All right, man. All right. Not funny anymore. Not funny
Hey,
anymore.
talk about a sandwich now.
Dagwood.
Yeah.
Hey, so look,
Oh,
fellas, great show. I don't want it to end. We got 7 more minutes. Will, don't you bail on me tonight. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Hey, I don't have no session tonight, so I'm good. I'm good.
Say, I don't you do it. I want to
Okay, hey,
pick
I'm
up
here.
where we left off. I wanna
okay.
pick up where we left off. We just had 2 hellified guests from the music and entertainment industry. Man, love, real quick. Love out to those gentlemen. If we ever do any collaboration, B. Cole, DJ Vince Adams, we got to have him with us. Like, we got to. Like, that's love. That's real love right there. We got
Most definitely.
you got to
man.
guess. You got to guess. Miss Sanders says medium.
Medium.
Hey, who is
Yeah,
Bullet?
not
Bullet
funny.
has been dropping gems all night.
Not funny.
Hey, that's the new call tag. Medium.
I said,
Love it,
oh,
love
snap.
it.
Hey,
Love it.
man, you know what? I am absolutely loving, like, finding out the energy from both of these guys was it was off the charts. I didn't know. I think I'd heard it, but I didn't know that DJ Vince Adams was a fam guy. I mean, so I don't know if T. Nick is knowing this because he's bringing all these, HBCU guys in here, and we got a lot of representation, and I think it's good because it's organic. A lot of stuff that's going on. Not that the NBA is not organic, and not that a lot of the publicity right now, but some of it seems a little contrived. Like, hey, this is the hot thing right now, and this is just it's just a natural thing. Will, I really hope your son kind of can at least experience it, because the truth of the matter is, or give it a good look.
There you go. Give it a good look. There you
Give
go.
it a good look, because you know what? Ultimately, you got to do what you got to do and see what's going on. But what Vince said was so it resonated with me, because once I decided where I was going, they tell you, hey, fill out a couple more applications. Your financial aid gives you 4 more free applications. So I said, all right, give me four HBCUs. Give me 4.
Now,
You know
see,
what I'm
Irv, I
saying?
got to ask you this question,
Mhm.
because both of us come from the sports arena, but we had 2 different paths. Who was instrumental from your high school days to kind of like, or was it your parents to kind of like move you towards the HBCU? Because like I said, I was looked at like an HBCU. What is that? We never knew what that was.
And that is very true. And that is very true. Even though when you look at Hall of Famers, you think of Walter Payton and Jerry Rice. These are HBCU guys.
Absolutely.
You think Hall of Famers.
Richard
Michael
Dent,
Strahan,
Smith,
Richard Dent. Yes. Michael Strahan. These are HBCU guys, but you didn't really know. So what happened was when B. Cole said the same thing. He said, "Man, when I was in grammar school, we went to a little small, private school with uniforms and ties." I said, "That's my same story." So my mom figured she'd, move out of the city and give us a little better life, and we moved to Hammond, and it was a culture shock. And I didn't really adjust well. I didn't like it. So after my sophomore year, I moved back. I moved with my dad. He stayed in Jeffrey Manor, and I think we moved on like a week's notice. So you're not getting in the school that you want to get into on a week's notice, but they will let you in Bowen. So
that's your neighborhood school.
there it is. So I said, "Hey, it's either stay out in Hammond." That wasn't very friendly. So I went to Bowen. And then after I started playing ball, I said, "I want to go to school." We went on a couple of trips. I just knew, man, I want to go to U of I. The Flying Illini was killing at the time. Football team was good. My cousin's
Harvard of the Midwest.
Played on the football team. So I was like, wow. So when I went to visit, it looked like the school in Hammond. I said, "Where are all the black people?" I thought this was a black school because I saw the Flying Illini. I didn't see anything but, black people on the sports and whatnot. But what happens is like, this isn't that. So I went on a couple of other, tours, smaller schools. I went to Benedictine, and I'm like, no, this is not what I thought it was. And my sister was a graduate from Tuskegee, and my only time going down there was for her graduation. So when she said, "Hey, come for homecoming," I'm like, I don't know. So I decided to go. And like B. Cole, like, "Man, this is what y'all do." It was homecoming. Like, man, this is great. And I had a couple of buddies that went there. That my buddies went to Ignatius and Mount Carmel, and they ended up at Tuskegee. And they were telling me they loved it. They came back, but I'm like, man, I don't know about all that. So when I went, it was and I had just seen School Days. I'm like, man, this is like School Days. So I was like, bet, sign me up. And just like B. Cole said, like, man, that's all they do is party. Once I got down there, when I came down, I was asking my guy, like, "What's going on? Why so quiet?" He's like, "Dude, you came in homecoming, man. We got to go to class. Ain't no, this is
it's real things going on down here."
Yes, homecoming will give you a false sense of celebration and ceremony. And don't get it twisted. FAM is lovely. Jackson State is lovely. I think I may have known like 3 or 4 HBCUs before I went to Tuskegee. Tuskegee being one, of course, Jackson State, Grambling. And that's pretty much it. They was talking about FAM. I had never heard of FAM. That was our first away football game. That FAM. That was the first time I had ever been to Florida. First time I had ever been. Wow. I was like really on a trip, and it was huge. I mean, people say that like I went to Tuskegee. I thought it was huge. Yeah, this is a pretty big size school. FAM is huge. Alabama State is huge. These are big schools. Yes, these are big schools compared to little small schools that I went to. But it was basically, I want to say my sister was instrumental in it. My sister's been instrumental in a lot of things that I've done because she was always the brains of the family. And I was saying, okay, if I can somewhat keep up with her, I'll be okay. So I always had a super support system. My sister's always been kind of like, if you need something, just kind of ask me and I'll tell you. Now, I don't know if she always knew, but she always had an answer. But like Vince said, if I could do, like, say, you went to Tuskegee, would you do it again? In a heartbeat. I said, I'm going to Tuskegee again when my son goes. I don't know where he planned on going, but I know that's where the money is going to go. He might as well follow down there. So I said, we might as well get ready for that now. I said, what a graduating class 2000, whatever it is when that joker get out. Right. Hey, that's the plan, man. It's nothing but love. I got so many of my buddies, man. Their sons and daughters, graduated from Tuskegee or another HBCU. So I mean, I really enjoy just the energy and the shine that it's getting now. Because I think it was a little bit of a time where everybody knew Grambling and everybody knew Howard, and somehow that kind of faded. And if I'm a sports guy, now I don't knock anybody. I tease some of my friends, and their sons are like they're ballers. So if you're a D1 prospect and that's where you're going, I wouldn't say, hey, let's do this for the culture. You have your own agenda. I don't have nothing is wrong with that. I think that's what people should do. They should do what's best for them. But I would definitely encourage HBCU at least a visit. Check it out to see what it's like. Because it's not gonna be a fit for everyone. But I think that everyone should at least have an experience and kind of know what's going on. And Vince made a very good point. Hey, man, because I said the same thing. A lot of people, the world is not white. The world is not black. Why am I going to a black school when I get out? It will prepare you to be in the world as diverse as it is or as diverse as it isn't, and be dominant. And you'll come in and you'll be comfortable with yourself. I would do it in a heartbeat. I'm pretty sure T. Nick can say the same thing, man. I've had a really good road trips in Atlanta. Morehouse, the whole AUC. I mean, it's nothing but love down there. So I know people go down there, go to school one semester, and then move and just stay in Atlanta forever. So it's nothing but love, man. I mean, if you've been to Chicago State, you've had the experience. You've had the experience. Now Chicago State has been gentrified because I went back recently, but that's not a bad thing, man. When people come in and they kind of, it brings a little bit more shine. So I was, my
we know
HBCU
you're proud, man.
experience
That's what I said. I want
was second to none. And it's shocking how everybody's experience is somewhat similar.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So jumping back into this Bulls conversation we were having before we got into our guests. We were talking about the aggressive trade they made and like what impact has it had thus far? None.
Hey, shout out to whoever Bullets is first, man.
Yes. We got to shout out Bullets.
But
Bullets, man.
Answered every single question.
Come back, Bullets.
That was a Friday reference, right?
Good job.
Come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweetness, Jackson State, love the show. What's BU? Oh yes, BU Bullets. Okay.
Yeah, hey, love, man.
You know what? I'm with you.
No. That's BU. That's Benedictine University.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you, JB. I think, and with you, T. Nick. I guess if I can be with both. I
from
think
SoCal. I'm sorry, J.I. I'm sorry. I just got excited. Bullets is from SoCal.
From SoCal, okay.
We love Cali, baby. Thank you, man. Tune in. See you next week, Bullets. We got a little something for you. Reach out after the show.
Hey, nothing but love. I think what the Bulls did is very similar to what the Bears did. They reached out to somebody that they could get. And that wasn't a very sexy pick. And at some point in time, you got to move the needle or put butts in this. You're gonna get a certain amount of butts in the seats anyway. But that doesn't bring somebody that's not a Bulls fan to come check out Bulls games. Andy Dalton doesn't bring somebody who's not a Bears fan to come see Bears game. It's kind of like I've already seen this story. And as much as I'm not a Andy Dalton basher, he wasn't on my short list or my long list. So
he wasn't on the list at all last time we talked.
No, he wasn't. So it's kind of like, you know what? Being a Bears fan is the only thing that keeping me from being really mad about it. Like, wow, this is extremely. It's come eat at my restaurant. The food's not bad. What kind of commercial is that? That's what the Bears come get this quarterback. He's not bad. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
So again, let me translate that sentiment onto what the Bulls did. If the Bulls made a move that necessarily wasn't sexy to the average person, but the only thing they're going to hitch their trailer to, so to speak, is all-star, right? He's an all-star. But does this all-star move the needle? Like I was telling my friend Chris Edgerton, we had a long back and forth talk to the point where the brother even called me at work, and I'm like, bro, I'm at work. Like, we'll talk about this later. But that's the type of conversation that's being sparked because now Vucevic going to the Bulls gets the fan base up and talking. That's all that move was really about because, again, is Vucevic really going to – now, each one of y'all, I'm going to ask you this question. Is Vucevic going to make Zach LaVine stay in Chicago? Is that enough to make him stay? Or is he going to stay because he's loved and he's the man? Because that wasn't the glaring issue. You've seen the defense the last couple of nights. Not saying that it won't change, Will. I know it takes a little bit of time, but these are professionals. Certain things that take us a couple of months should take them a couple of games. Real talk. It didn't take Durant and Harden and Kyrie nothing but a week to figure that out.
Yeah, but
all of those are perennial all-stars.
Those are
you said
those are
perennial,
icons.
and this man is a two-time all-star.
Those are icons that you just named, though.
Okay,
but I will say this:
still fruit. Let's call it what it is. The man is an all-star by his trade, correct?
Yes.
So by definition, he's supposed to boost the team.
Well, here's the thing, though.
I will say this. I will say this though. Zach LaVine's role or his touches are going to diminish.
I said that, and
slightly. It's going to be diminished slightly because we have this bona fide center, and Zach probably ain't going to be good with that. He's like in the twilight of his career. He wants to shine. He just went to his first All-Star game. He doesn't want his shit to diminish right now, and that's what it looks like is going to happen. So they're going to have Billy Donovan is going to have to try to find some kind of way to make a cohesive unit, but a happy cohesive unit, happy in their roles. And Zach LaVine is not going to want to take a back seat.
But see, Billy Donovan has a task as a coach that he's never been equipped to handle that challenge. If we go back to what Billy Donovan did, most people know Billy Donovan for two things. Now, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. He won back-to-back national championships at Florida. That's one. Everybody that knows ball should know that, right? That's one.
Right.
Two, Billy Donovan is the only coach in modern-day history known for blowing a 3-1 Western Conference lead, right?
Yeah.
This is just facts. I mean, I can't make this up. Billy Donovan won 55 games his first year, 47 games his second year, 48 games his third year, and I believe it's like 46, 44, 45. And now it's like 19. So Billy Donovan is this great coach and great savior. But if you look at Oklahoma City, what have they done since Scott Brooks? That's who got them to the finals. Yeah, well, they lost Harden. I don't give a damn about that. They still had Westbrook, Durant, Steven Adams, Serge Ibaka. They still had a squad.
Now that should be the general manager that should be buried and should never be able to. When you couldn't make that work, I always say that. Like all these guys.
Why do you get a coach that didn't make it work? Let's not talk about the GM real quick. The GM, AK, we got to give him a chance because he's thrust into a new position. People be like, look what he did at Denver. And if you really do your homework, he wasn't the only person making those decisions in Denver. That's first and foremost. Let's really call it what it is and do your homework. Now bring it to the Bulls. His first major signing is a coach that on paper looks good. And what do people say? Oh, look what he did with Oklahoma City last year. That team was trash. I said, if you really watch, was it Oklahoma City being successful at the 6th seed from the coaching standpoint of a Billy Donovan? Or was Chris Paul just that good of a leader and a coach on the floor to get that team to that 6th seed and take Houston to a game 7? Like for real, can we please keep it 100? For once in our show, we always do, but we got a lot of people out here that watch our show that want to say this or that. It's time to address these people. So I want to introduce a segment starting next week. We're going to carve it out. Come at me, bro. Come at me. And that's when we challenge our viewers to come and say and basically defend ourselves against what they got to say. Because I'm telling you right now, when you have a coach in Billy Donovan whose offense is predicated on running, transition, and motion, this big 6'11" dude, as good as he is, he's going to bog that down. The Bulls are best in comebacks when they do what? Run the break, transition. We all know Wendell Carter wasn't shit. He's a bum.
He a bust.
You should have never. He wasn't even the best person on his team. Bagley was, but we knew what that was. We knew marketing. Some of us said, "Why? Well, I don't want marketing." No, why? But this is what they do. So we can't, like Bill Parcells famously said one year, if you're gonna let me, what did he say? If you're gonna let me cook the meal, let me buy the groceries.
Yes.
So at least give Billy Donovan as mediocre as a coach to me that he is. At least let him get the people that fit his system. Vucevic is a great player, all-star, 24-11. But guess what? You got to pick and pop with Vucevic. You got to slow down and stagnate and run into the half court to get him the touches down in the low post. You got to hope he gets double teamed to kick it out to the wing so they can hit a three, of which the Bulls are not that good at hitting threes. If you look at their percentages overall, Zach is.
Yeah, I was going to say Zach is.
Mark is decent. Pat Williams is okay. That little 9 points ain't moving me, though. You know what I'm saying? And then people want to always hit you with the give it time, give it time, give it time. Well, shit, I ain't won nothing in Chicago with the Bulls since 98. How much more time we got to give?
Yeah.
Because you had one with Derek, and you surrounded him with Ronnie Brewer, Keith Bogans. Like, you didn't surround you. Oh, what about Joakim Noah?
Well, you also got to remember we had John Paxson as a GM or vice president of basketball, whatever the fuck they call it.
VP of operations with Gar Forman as the acting GM.
Yeah.
We all know the story. But let's not also, they made some solid picks. They made some dumb picks, like trading LaMarcus Aldridge for from LSU. Damn, what is his name?
Tyrus
Thompson.
Yeah. Tyrus.
You're going to draft LaMarcus Aldridge and trade him for Tyrus Thompson. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff they do.
That was stupid as fuck. That was stupid as hell.
Like, we don't know shit, and we knew that.
I want to know. Let me say it like this, because I definitely hear the passion in your speech right now, JB. I hear it. It's like, wow. But what at this point, what would you have liked to have seen them do? Who would you like them seen them go get?
Me personally, I say you have to really tear it down to the bare essence and start over. You have Zach. He's one of 12 great players at his position in the NBA. That's a great cornerstone to starting something. He's young enough where we can still put something around him in the next 2 or 3 years. But you have to build through the draft, and you have to be able to wipe away this stigma. A lot of people say, well, it's a new management. Well, new management, we've had new management with the Bears, new coaching, new GM. It's the same things. Sometimes the culture is plagued by the past. And no matter what, we can't get over it. People are still saying, man, I'm 21 years old. I don't want to go to the Bulls because of what they did to Michael Jordan. Man, you was what, 11? No, I'm sorry, you might have been 2. You might not have been born.
Yes, might not have been born.
But the stigma is, man, we can't go to the Bulls, man. Look how they treated one of the greatest players of NBA history. That stigma still follows you today, no matter who the regime is, no matter who the new coaching is. So what you got to do, you got to build through the draft. You have to entice key free agents for the needs that you have that are glaring. Yeah, okay, we got a sexy 24-11 center. Where's the defense? I know the last 2 games y'all been watching.
Defense? You knew you playing the NBA, right?
Hold on. Antonio took a 36-point lead against the Bulls.
You know you playing the NBA
last night.
You're talking about defense. Defense.
Hold on.
Defense,
they said wait till Tice get back. Okay, Tice came in last night. He had a block or 2. Look good. But you You really gonna put all that on a 6'8" center? Did you hear what I said? 6'8" center.
Mhm.
While Vucevic out here with marketing, you got two damn near 7-footers wanting to shoot all the threes.
That's the game, though. That's the new NBA game.
They thought he was going to be Alonzo Mourning.
Is it? Because I look at this. Golden State didn't have no trouble. San Antonio didn't have no trouble. And those are not top-tier teams.
Didn't have no trouble doing what?
Beating the Bulls.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is 6'9" and above shooting on the perimeter is the new game.
But
that's what I'm saying.
But you still have to play basketball because guess what? Golden State didn't win by shooting threes. They got more points in the paint. They still played ball. Steph did have 30, but look how many points in the paint he had.
JB, most people don't know that. They think that they did win by threes, that the sky was falling. Everybody, threes were just dropping out of the sky. If you tell somebody that, the average fan thinks that everybody got to shoot threes. Nah, there's nobody making points in the paint. You don't need any of these Frankenstein centers lumbering around, which is kind of what you're saying a little bit too, though, because you're not really a big fan of because he's gonna slow the game down when they run.
It definitely will.
And that's not to their strength, though. If they had more of a half-court set to where their offense was predicated, like if they ran the triangle, he'd be perfect. We're not looking to score 116 points. We're looking to score between 90 and 105. But we're going to grind the game down. We're going to value possessions. We're going to eat the clock. We're going to capitalize on transition buckets. We're going to get back transitionally on defense.
Right. And guess what you just described? 90s basketball.
Who won last year? The Lakers.
How did they win?
Old school basketball. LeBron to the cup, AD to the cup. What are we talking about?
No, sir. No, sir.
What are we talking about?
Said, let me tell you this. I damn near might be able to coach the Nets into the damn championship, at least to the finals. So when you messing with, like, everybody saying that's a super team, they beat LeBron. They've evolved. Like, you know what? It's become a thing now. Like, I could go with LeBron, but then I don't get as much shine. We're gonna put our own thing together. So really, what it'll happen is it will really, shout out to Bullet. It'll really make the Lakers and LeBron dominant because, hey, LeBron, you may have ushered in this whole super team way of thinking or brought it about a little faster than it was coming anyway. But now the Nets have took it. They're just going Rockettes with it. They just say, hey, man, can we get KD? Yeah, we might be able to get James Harden too. Hey, let's get Billy Donovan. Bring the whole damn OC.
Anomaly.
Okay,
you're talking about an anomaly.
No, it's not an anomaly if everybody's trying to do it. It's just everyone's been trying to do it. They just couldn't pull it off. The Nets have kind of pulled this up. It's the nature of sports now. It's a lot more easily seen in basketball, though.
Let's go back 3 weeks ago to what Ricky Pierce told us. Ricky Pierce on our show told us the wave of the big man in the half-court offense has always and will always garner who the champion will be. Because if you don't have any bigs down there doing what bigs do, this three-point barrage is not going to work all the time to win a championship. It's just not. Sometimes you have to just let your big boy be big and get out the way. Yep. Now, the Bulls have a guy like that, but getting to that point, are you satisfied right now with the Bulls going from 10 to 8 or 9? Hell, there is a playing game, so if you're not number 6, it don't matter no way.
Right.
No,
that to me, that's the same as the Bears going 8-8 and getting the 20th pick.
How about this? How about this, JB? How about this? Because I really think that you're really heated about this, and I can feel your frustration. I can feel your frustration. I think you just let it simmer a while. All right, buddy. All right, it's gonna be all right. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just give them one more week, and then then we can really kick the tires for real and make sure that what we see is what we're going to do.
I'm speaking to my brothers. I haven't spoken on social media about it since it originated. I didn't speak
And
about
that might be your problem. That might be your problem. You kept it pent up too much, but
but I'm gonna wait because I'm always gonna have, like you just said, give it a little more time.
right. So
how about this? Next Tuesday, because the Bulls, I'm sure they
3 games.
I don't know their schedule, but
got
I
3
I
games.
do know that they got 3 games in between that time. Okay, so next Tuesday we will definitely revisit this topic, and maybe the status of the starting 5 will be a little better because the Bulls bench ain't shit. So it's got to be.
You see, they changed the starting 5 from the first game already to the second game. They took Markkanen out and put Thad Young in. Like, wait a minute, what are we doing? We told y'all Markkanen wasn't the case. Like, get him out of here.
Markkanen is terribly inconsistent. So, yeah, he got to go, and he should have been traded. This past trade deadline, he should have been traded. But
we're gonna have to stay optimistic. We're gonna have to give AK, just like we gave Pace a chance. We have to give AK.
Oh, no. That's where you're wrong. We ain't gotta stay optimistic. We just gotta see it play out. ain't gotta be about optimism. Let's just see it play out. That's all I want to see. I'm not looking for optimism. I just want to see what the truth is gonna be.
I've seen the Bulls make the playoffs and lose before. I'm not moved by that.
So Tuesday, if they really fuck up these next 3 games, we gonna air their ass out.
I think, don't they play? Wait, I thought I saw it. I could be wrong. Don't they play like Phoenix and the Jazz and the Clippers? Like,
I know they have a West Coast swing. I don't know if it's now or not. But
unless they play in Sacramento,
if they playing those 3, we definitely gonna air their ass out because they're not gonna win any of those games. And I am a casual Bulls fan right now. I'm like I said a long time ago, I'm stuck in the 90s. That's when I was
see red because I'm furious, not because I'm looking through red colored glasses. I'm just pointing that out. So real talk, man. Love talking to y'all. Last thing, this for the culture. Who y'all got tomorrow? The king or the god? Who y'all got tomorrow? The king or the god?
Tomorrow. The fuck is tomorrow?
What's tomorrow? We saw
Godzilla vs. King Kong on HBO Max.
Oh man, we've been having that battle. Okay,
King Kong.
I'm going with King Kong. I'm going with King Kong.
I got the king.
And I have nobody because I
don't care.
No, I don't give a rat's ass.
Hey,
sorry. I just
gotta do T Nick like he been doing everybody. Hey, you might not really be from Chicago.
Right.
What the fuck does King Kong have to do with Chicago?
You might not be from our era. How about that? How about that?
I mean, that's fine because I'll be younger, especially younger than your old ass. Hey,
I gotta get this sandwich.
And we graduated the same year.
Nothing young on you, T.
No, we did not. No, we did not.
Ain't nothing young but that shirt.
All right, and with that, it's time to go, motherfucker. My cup is empty.
Right.
Oh, this is a different cup. Everybody see that? It's a Bulls cup. It's not the Bears cup this time. It's Bulls.
Our Bears cup is empty too.
So we need to go because we need to fill our shit up. But
my man,
like JB said, this was a great fucking pod. We had some great guests, great stories, great insights. It was funny.
Oh, no question.
People enjoyed it. Shout out to everybody that stuck with us in the comment section. Watch this whole thing for 2 hours.
Hey, I'm sorry.
2 hours.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, JB. Go ahead.
Hey, my man Bullets is on it, man.
Right. He's gonna fuck that little listen up.
Can we please get Bullets on the show? Hey, Bullets, reach out to us. Find us on IG, Facebook, Instagram. Hey, we got to keep in contact, brother. Magic Johnson, greatest player ever. My mother would love you for saying that, bro. Real talk. That's why I went to Michigan State.
My man.
Real talk. We got to get Bullets on the show, man. Much love. I just
most definitely. Much love.
Much love.
All right, Bullets, you heard it. So get in touch with us, man. We're going to get you on the show, man. Definitely get you on the show.
AC got you on
But
Facebook.
all right, man. Huh?
Let's send us out of here, T-Nick.
All right.
Let's send us out of here.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the podcast where we think we know everything, but we really don't know shit.
But we really don't
know shit. But my man,
All
Big
right,
Will, who's not really from Chicago, my man J.I., the human Wikipedia, my man JB, the fucking stat man that knows all the stats from the 90s teams.
And T Nick in that young ass shirt.
Medium.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.